What's happening, people? No! Okay, here we go. So, what did I learn today so far? It is 12:08 p.m., and I have things that I wrote down. So the first thing, bada bing, was during my meditation in the mornings, I think that if I jump into meditation right after my other earlier routine stuff, I need to get the blood flowing first. Otherwise, I just kind of feel like falling asleep during meditation, you know? So I feel like I have the tendency to, my mind just like drifts. I'm on a comfy couch. I'm very, very comfortable and very warm. And I'm not, like my heart's not pumping, my blood's not flowing, not much is happening. I'm just kind of sitting down, and it's like usually 5:45 or something in the morning. So I'm a little tired still. And so I think the key is to just move my body and get the blood going, you know? Otherwise, I think I just feel like I don't get the most out of meditation. I think that if I maybe not exercise entirely, but maybe exercise, I don't know, maybe just a little bit of exercise before meditation, I can like really dive in deeper to exploring my mind and becoming more calm and the whole meditation thing. So I think that would help through, you know, with that whole process, is just moving a little bit, doing some squats or some stairs or push-ups or something, whatever that might mean. I think that I should try doing that and start doing that. So that was the first thing that I learned today, was that. Okay, next thing. You know what I was thinking about earlier was one time I was at City Rock in the Springs with a couple of my couple of my friends who were in college at the time, and they're a year ahead of me, and they were somewhere in the middle of their freshman year. We were all climbing together, and then I remember I was doing pretty well. I was, I don't know, doing my thing, I guess, and they were having a more difficult time. They're having a slightly harder time. This road is terrible. Because, and then they kind of made the excuse, well, oh, he's just doing good. He's just a strong climber because he hasn't been to college yet, right? He hasn't actually experienced the freshman 15. He hasn't really put on any weight yet. He's still like a young, fit, in shape high school boy. When I heard them say that, I was just starting to think that, like, well, that's true now, but, you know, it's inevitable that I'm going to gain the freshman 15. I was just thinking there's no possible way that I can avoid that situation. And for some reason, I didn't, like, think that there was any other way about it. I was just kind of like, yeah, when I get to college, that's just kind of the way it goes. Like, I'm going to get chubbier. That's just kind of how it works. But that's what happened. That's absolutely what happened. In fact, I gained a lot more than 15 pounds. I gained probably like 30 pounds. And so that was true because I told myself that and then followed through on that idea, and then I didn't have any healthy habits that I was implementing into my life. You know, there was nothing really healthy about what I was doing. But I guess the main takeaway though from that was just that when I heard them say that I was the young, strong guy, I, for some reason, assumed that would be the end of it after that, as soon as college hit me. I was pretending, or not even pretending, I just didn't know any different, that there was a different route, a different option. So I just assumed that this inevitable thing would happen. And I guess I was thinking about how I should have caught that. Been like, well, no, that the freshman 15 is an optional thing. You can gain 15 pounds. You also could lose 15 pounds. I mean, there's whatever happens, but it just depends on what your goals are, what your viewpoints are, what your message to yourself is. All those things matter and will dictate your future. At the time, though, I didn't really know that. I was just kind of thinking, these are my close friends. They're in school. They've gained weight. And now I'm going to just follow that same path. And that, I think, is the dangerous piece from all of this, is that if you follow people going down the wrong path, you're going to experience those wrongdoings, that you're going to be doing those same things. because I think that part of it was that I looked up to them, and I still do to some extent. But in the moment, at that time, I was just like, oh, these guys are so cool. They're already in college. I'm friends with these college kids. I don't even really know what college is about or like at all. So I was almost just like maybe obligated to follow in their footsteps a little bit. That was kind of just what I was used to, was their style of living, because we were friends during the time. So I don't know. I guess just be careful whose footsteps you try to follow in. And with that in mind, actually, maybe you shouldn't follow in anyone's footsteps. Maybe you can look at their footsteps as a reference, as a guide. But I think ultimately you need to make your own tracks. And everyone always says that. It's kind of like that cliche thing is, you don't take the main trail. You trailblaze. Make your own trail. You hop off the main trail and you trailblaze, or whatever the saying is. You know what I'm talking about. So I think eventually, though, the main goal is to not follow in anybody's footsteps. At least not exactly. I think that you need those footsteps to guide you on the way for a little bit. But eventually, once you kind of find your gig and you find your groove and you figured out kind of what you want to do and how you want to do it in your own personal way, then I think it's time to take your own trail. But I think you need those footsteps, though, at least originally. Just like in music, I think it is really hard to just like walk in blind to learning an instrument and then start writing your own music and making your own songs, and that's not easy. It's not even it is possible, but it's not very easy. So I think that when you're first starting off with music, I think it's certainly helpful to look to others who know what they're doing and have been doing it for a long time, as guidance, and they can teach you and you can learn from them. You can learn the basics. You learn the foundational knowledge of just the guitar, for example. And then kind of once you've built that solid foundation, then you can kind of branch out and kind of customize your house, But you need, I think, most of the time, you really need a solid foundation to work from. And you can build your own foundation. That's certainly possible. It's maybe not the most efficient way of doing things anymore, but it's certainly possible. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that, I guess. So yeah, careful whose footsteps you follow in, and eventually you're going to find your own, and bada ding, bada boom, bam, ba. So anyway, I guess that's really all that I have to say for today, I think. I guess I'll mention one more thing, that I'm trying to train myself to be more accepting and open to change and taking action on that change. Like if I have the idea of some change in my life that could be helpful, I'm trying to learn to just go for it. Like even if it's just a very small little thing. For example, one of my roommates moved out recently, and there was an open sink. It's kind of a weird example, I guess, but there was an open sink because he moved out, and it was just me and my other roommates. And it was just the two of us sharing one sink, but there's an open sink that is up for grabs. And for a while, I don't know, at least a few days, I was just continuing to use the same sink and share with my other roommate. But then I just kind of thought, like, well, there's an open sink that no one is using. Why not take it? And so sometimes I think that I get ideas like that, and then I just don't follow through with them. I don't pursue them. I don't take action with them. And then they kind of just like fade on, and then time goes on, and before I know it, a month has gone by and still nothing's happened. So I guess I'm just trying to take advantage of that opportunity that I have when I have the idea and it's fresh in my mind. Because while it's still there, I think it's the most powerful, or it's the most I don't know. It feels probably the easiest then to ever follow through with it in the whole timeline of ideas and thoughts and goals or whatever. Anyway, I guess just trying to take action on my ideas and my thoughts while I'm still having them, while it's still fresh in my head. Because I know Tony Robbins always talks about doing exactly that. Is like if you wait too long, if you don't take action now, chances are you're going to come home, you're going to get tired, and then you're going to have all these things you're supposed to be doing, then you're just going to forget and then not do it. And so I think that when you have those ideas, it's just really important to take advantage of it now. Because if you don't, they might just slip away into the ether. So this guy's taking up 2 lanes, and I don't like that. All right, that's all I have to say for today, I suppose. See you, I guess, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. What? You just honked at me. All right, see you tomorrow. Roger out.